Buckle up, excellence junkies, because this podcast is definitely for you. Welcome to Rock-It Fuel. Do you wish that you could surround yourself with people that love to kick ass just like you? Well, come to my party, baby, and meet some of the brightest stars in the entrepreneurial galaxy, because it is my mission to give these entrepreneurs a platform to declare what they are on this planet to accomplish and to show you why they are rocket fuel. Hello, my dear Rocketeers. I hope that you are having a fabulous day today. But sometimes days are not fabulous. They are not fabulous. I wanted to talk today a little bit about accepting mistakes with grace. This is interesting. The past couple of days have been interesting for us here in the Torini household. We moved into a new place in July, and we have been waiting months to finally get our some of our major rooms painted, right? And so as the crew was wrapping up yesterday, I walked out and I'm looking at the colors of the living room, hall, the dining room, and I'm like, I don't think that this is what we discussed with our interior designer. It looks a little bit different. And so I checked in with her. I said, hey, can you take a look? Because I don't think these are the colors that we intended. Well, bottom line, it wound up being that the colors were switched by accident. It was kind of like this, it was a full moon. Like there were like multiple like mini mistakes along the way on like all sides that just resulted in this confusion. And I kind of reflected on the fact that, I could have flipped out and she could have flipped out, and the owner of the painting company could have flipped out. I mean, they were ready to wrap it up, and it resulted in, almost a half day, if not more, of work, additional work to fix it. And what was beautiful is that we all accepted the mistake with grace. And it all stems from recognizing that nobody wants to F up. Like, nobody is like purposely trying to screw you over if they make a mistake and it doesn't work out, right? And so what's the value in adding like stress and bad energy and anxiety around it, because then you won't be able to think of a solution effectively across the board, right? So this goes to, business and life as well, in recognizing that accepting mistakes with grace is truly rocket fuel, because what happens is it accelerates the process of being able to clearly figure out what's next. Like, shit happens, guys. Shit happens. And if you don't accept somebody else's mistake with grace, then think of how it's going to feel the next time you mess up, because we're not perfect, right? The next time that you make a mistake and that other person doesn't accept your mistake with grace. And I think it's even more important to try and keep your composure when that other person isn't accepting with grace, because your behavior and your demeanor may actually be able to influence how they respond, right? You don't want to escalate the situation. Even being able to say, I never intended this. Let me figure out how we can make this right, could help them feel better about compromising or thinking about another solution instead of just being in a stalemate, right? So what I would love for you guys to do is just think about areas in your life, in your business, where things may feel a little stuck or stagnant because you're not accepting a mistake with grace. And by the way, it could be that you're not being very kind to yourself. It could be that you're not accepting your mistake with grace, right? I mean, if I'm to think of it right now, there are definitely things in my business that I have felt, man, why did I make that decision that wound up resulting in like a 6-month delay in this progress or this and that? And um if I stay in that cycle, I just won't. I'm going to delay my progress. I'm going to delay my progress. And for me, I'm a big proponent. I'm a big supporter of tapping into experts, tapping into other people to keep you accountable to the things um that are important but maybe difficult for you to do or to change in your life. So I'm lucky that I have fantastic coaches and team members that are set there to remind me of how I want to treat myself when these things happen. Because even though you may be listening to this and you're like, yeah, I agree, it is true. Guess what? I mean, when things get tough, we forget. And so it's important for us to kind of build things around ourselves to remind us of what our values are, right? If you value this concept of accepting mistakes with grace, then figure out when things get really hard, where are you at risk, right? And what you can you do to remind yourself that this is an important value? What can you do to remind your team members when things are going well, right? You may say, "Hey, this is really important for me, and if I kind of go off track, can you let me know because it is important for me to accept mistakes with grace," right? Maybe it's a gentle kind of reminder. Um, I remember when my husband was director of operations when we were running our consulting firm, and what I loved about that is he helped me become aware that I can get really intense, right? I'm really intense, positive, negative. I just experience emotions very intensely. And so sometimes I'll get this idea and something didn't work out, and I'll bring the team together and I'm like, okay, well, we can't do this because of this. And just the way I was communicating, although I wasn't intending to blame them at all, he explained, yeah, but the way you communicated, people were like, whoa. And you walked out and you just casted this cloud of stress around it. And thank goodness he felt okay telling me this, right? Because he understood that I had a value of wanting to be able to accept mistakes with grace, to encourage people to be innovative and to make mistakes and to learn from them. And just how I responded at the moment didn't support that. And so he was able to tell me very kindly, like, you kind of freaked people out, right? And we laughed about it. And I'm like, oh crap, I didn't intend to do that, and was able to correct my behavior. So the point is that even though we may have a value that is important to us, when things get tough, it could be hard to remember to hold true to that value. And it's okay to share with people that this is my intention and to give people the permission to remind you. But that behavior alone, business or in your personal life, accepting mistakes with grace, I believe is truly rocket fuel to ultimately getting you to where you want to go. And so once again, I hope that this is valuable to you. I was just reflecting upon this as we went through this challenge with painting our house. And what I loved is like I didn't feel stress about it. I was like, oh no. I mean, I felt bad because I'm like, oh crap, it's going to be more work and it's going to be an issue, right, for people to discuss. But what made it beautiful is that everybody accepted the mistake with grace. And so the transition to what the solution was really easy. Everybody was reasonable. We all chipped in on, what feels right for everybody. And then it was just fixed and we went on, right? So I really, really appreciated that. And I wanted to tell that story. I hope that it's of value to you. And I encourage you to, check out our Facebook page, the Rocket Fuel podcast. Remember, it's ROCK-IT Fuel podcast. Like our Facebook page, share if you were impacted by this episode or any other episode. I really look forward to hearing from my dear Rocketeers to see what else we can do to inspire you to bust out of mediocrity, right? And be the best version of yourself in life, in businesses, if you choose, whether it's, your job or being an entrepreneur. What I do want to remind you, though, is that we have really amazing episodes. You know that my mission is to connect you with experts that are going to bust you out of whatever you're stuck with. And just every week I get to meet and interview these fantastic people. So check out our episode guide. This is first of all, it's really cool. So when you text for it, it's a really cool, well-designed Go Team episode guide, but it gives you a listing of all the episodes under different categories, depending on what you want to achieve: health and wellness, business, mindset, all that stuff. And then it also tells you if the episode is on podcast, if it's on our YouTube channel. So check out Rock-It Fuel on YouTube, or if it's on streaming TV on Pod Nation. So download the Pod Nation app. It is the first app to bring podcasts to broadcast. I love that. And we are blessed to be one of the first 100 podcasts that are there. So you could watch our videos on TV. So that's Pod Nation. But you could check out all that information in our episode binge guide. So you could just listen, watch. And the way you do it is by pulling out your phone and texting Rock-It Fuel, right? ROCKITFUEL to 411321 if you're in the US. If you're outside of the US, you can actually use WhatsApp or you can text, but the number is 1-909-741-1321. So you can use WhatsApp and text to 1-909-741-1321. And the message, I'm sorry, that's wrong. It says trio on the thing. The message would be Rock-It Fuel, ROCKITFUEL, right? If we ask you for your email address, please provide it, because that's how you're going to get the episode binge guide. You're going to get updates on new episodes and such. And it's only monthly. So please, you're not going to want to miss out. Awesome people, awesome stuff. I love you, Rocketeers. I really do hope that you text for the episode binge guide, you stay connected, and that we can continue to deliver inspiring and motivating messages and introduce you to experts that are truly, truly Rock-It Fuel. Mwah! Remember, accept mistakes with grace. Adios. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. Look, every one of our episodes is boosted by a value-packed keyword called a catchword. Yeah. This allows our audiences to text to receive even more value from our guests. So take advantage of that great value. And if you share your expertise by guesting on podcasts or TV or speaking in front of live or digital audiences, then you're leaving anonymous fans behind. So go get a catchword at catchwords.com, KETCH words.com, and use podcast20 as a promo code for 20% off your setup fee. Look, make sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the Rock-It Fuel podcast so you never miss your jolt of Rock-It Fuel. Until next time, adios.